This is Jake Epstein, and I want to review Kris Bryant's swing. This is the home run he hit a couple weeks ago, and I want to show you some things he does really well and some concerns that I would have if I was their hitting instructor in terms of consistency with his swing plane. So we can see that green line as the plane of the pitch coming in. And as we watch him swing, here's his heel plant position. Great position. Let me go back a little bit more right there. You can see his hips are starting to open. He definitely has some weight on his left quads, which is fantastic. There's going to be some weight rotating to the inside. I'm sorry, shifting to the inside of that right heel. Most importantly, his back shoulder is still up above his front shoulder. Okay, as he goes to swing, perfect world, what we're trying to do, you can see how close the bat gets to his shoulder as well there. That's excellent. Obviously, if you're in our program in the online academy, the Epstein Hitting Online Academy, that's one of the things we teach is how close can we get that bat as we go to rotate towards our trapezius muscle or our shoulder. So as he comes through, he's in a great position here, but watch that barrel start to dip below the plane of that pitch. So you can see in this position here, let's see if I can, I'm going to erase those lines and then redraw the pitch plane. Okay, there's the pitch plane. And now we can see that his barrel is slightly underneath. Okay, so I'm going to draw a different color here. You can see his barrel's about there underneath. And then as he goes to the next frame, you can see that barrel still underneath. Still underneath. So what happens in this position here? What happens if he was late? What happens if he was 10 to 14 inches late and he tried to make contact at this intersection point? He would foul it straight back or pop it up. Let's go a little one frame further. What about here? Probably still fouls it back. And then you can see his barrel comes back up and he hits that ball. So now I'm going to trace his actual swing plane from right here, and then as he goes up, you can see how much he really lifts this home run. Now notice how his barrel went up on about the same trajectory that ball went out. What that means is he actually lifted that home run. He didn't really have a ton of backspin on it. If you compare that to the Carlos Correa swing that we looked at, where he was on that green line the whole time and launched the ball higher because of where he hit the ball. This here kind of shows more of an uppercut swing plane, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that he's going to hit very high towering home runs and he's not going to hit for a very high average. Because when we have a swing plane like this, again, if I trace this ball coming in towards the catcher, if we're not on plane, if we're underneath the plane here, we're going to typically foul off pitches we could probably hit more to right field. So our timing has to be a little bit more perfect. Same thing if he was a little bit early and tried to hit it here at that intersection point. Obviously the ball goes through that intersection point. We can see it here. What happens if he tried to hit it at that intersection point? Well, you can see his barrel's over the top of it. He's either going to hit it off the end or he's going to miss it. So that would be a question I would have in terms of his consistency. So talented, unbelievable power, okay? But we also want to make sure when I'm working with my players that we have good power because we're hitting the ball hard, but we also want to hit for a high average. Okay, why does he hit the ball so hard? I want you to focus in on his knee action here. Notice his back foot, obviously no bug squishing here. The weight goes to from the back heel in this load position to the inside of the big toe, and then his knees are going to smash together. So notice when his front knee really locks out and that weight goes into that front heel there, you can see his toes lift a little bit. That is so much ground force there that's working up through his body the entire swing and out his bat head. So his bat speed is off the charts. His power is off the charts. You can see his posture is great, but we got to make sure we stay on plane for as long as possible to give ourselves the best chance for hitting for a high average.